Thank you very much for that. Welcome to the second annual 10X Retirement Investment Conference, a conference that, in discussions with Stephen, was really to get the community together to have important conversations. This sector, I don't need to tell you how important it is. Its impact running into trillions in an environment where the provision of retirement and retirement funding is critical to all of us. We're all healthier, living longer, and the plan needs to be made. Time is that one thing that we cannot bend and mold to our requirements. So I'm going to be your program director, master of ceremonies, discussant, whatever you want to call me. Just be polite about it. I'm not a retirement guy. My background is really in commercial and residential real estate, but for this morning, I'm going to be putting myself trying to understand more and be the man in the street. You can call me Joe Average. So, what is this 42-year-old boyki doing in a room with rocket scientists? I wanted to think about it. I said, well, what's my context? What's my space? How do I tee up the powerful speakers from National Treasury, actuaries? How do I engage them? And I just wanted to bring somebody else along with me in the room. And I decided to call her Mpho. So, ladies and gentlemen, meet Mpho. Mpho is the new South Africa. Mpho, in local languages, refers to a gift. Now, we are down the track in 2014 celebrating 20 years of independence or transition in the country. The demographic shift, the economic shift, the impact of diversifying the wealth by improving education, lengthening lives, all of that speaks into the retirement industry. So I'm trying to bring Mpho into the room, that all of the presentations with the fantastic PowerPoints, detailed graphs, the dense matter, can we get it to speak to Mpho? So Mpho is more likely to be urban than anything else. We are at current census, we're looking past the 60% in South Africa's population distribution being urban, Gauteng highly urbanized. She's increasingly educated. She is forming independent households earlier. If you look at any of the consumer sectors that have been on the JSE and the performance and what's been driving them, it's that people are getting better educated, earning more. If you look at it, aggregate black spend in about 2011 started to exceed aggregate white spend. So there is more demand from households being formed at a younger age. She's consuming more of everything. And that concerns Tabang in the picture a little more, but that's okay. But the South African economy, we know it's a consumer-led economy. About 60% of what happens in the GDP is in that consumer space. She's saving more. So when she needs to do that, she needs financial advisors, she needs a plan, a strategy, and I'd like you to speak to her in your presentations to that. And she is, as a demographic, the most exciting spot in the property market. In 2013, I think it is, give or take a year, the number of black buyers exceeded the number of black buyers in residential property. It got to about 51.7%, if I remember the number correctly. But within that 51.7%, the strongest individual buyer was the single black female. So let's put Mpho as a context. So there are 5 million Mphos. Where do they fit? What do they speak to? What change of thinking do we have to have for our retirement thinking? So if you look on the left-hand graph, that's our population pyramid. You see that we've got a narrower top of the pyramid, fewer old people being supported by a lot of younger people. But that's a transition. That's the demographic dividend that we talk about in South Africa or in Africa in general. And on the right-hand side, contrast that to the Japanese population pyramid, where you see that there are a lot more older people who are being supported by a smaller and smaller number of young people. There's a crisis that's going on. You see the impact of how funds internationally are chasing yield. They come to emerging markets. If it's on an investment carry, if it's chasing listed real estate, whatever it is, it's because they're looking for that yield. In South Africa, we have a young population, but that population, as you can see, is starting the the growth rate is slowing down. So Mpo now has to figure out how, and we've seen in the government space where the provision of free housing, the new Minister of Housing has said, look, this giveaway RDP story, we've done 2.3 million houses, it's not sustainable. And they're moving to, the state can't do everything for everybody. So retirement comes back to Mpo. She can't rely on her kids to look after her. She can't rely on the government to look after her. So it's in her hands. What's Mpo scared of? Of course, she's going to be afraid of three things. The first one is living too long, with Tabang, of course, without killing him. The other one is dying too soon, that she hasn't fulfilled or provided a framework and structure for the many wonderful kids that she's going to have in between. And then in between that, there's the disability affecting her plans. So her retirement needs to have an element of insurance, but essentially it's getting that plan together. How do we really help Mpo? We're about to go into Women's Month next month. So what does Mpo really need? What sophistication, what is she demanding if she hasn't articulated it yet? She needs enlightenment. She needs the financial education. We'll have a speaker who's put a platform that you can work out and work with to understand your plan and what you need and when you need it by. But that enlightenment, if we're talking in marketing speak, you have awareness, interest, desire, action. In this case, we start with enlightenment. We've got to know that, get the framework for Mpo that, in this case, black woman, you're on your own. But black man, you're on your own. Get into the space of taking ownership of your space and your plan. She's going to need education. Now, education is more than just the facts and figures. It's the discernment. It's the nous to put something together to say, my set of circumstances, as my family life changes, as my employment changes, it's not taking money out the RA to upgrade the car or anything like that, but it's discernment. So that education is essential. From there, she now needs engagement. And that engagement is the format of that is ever changing. The good old days when there was a grey-shoed gentleman from an old financial institution, you booked an appointment. Mpo is out on Friday night, she's at Kitchen Bar in 4 Ways More, chatting with the girls. She wants to have a chat and say, look, this is what I'm doing, this is cool, this is the app that I'm doing, this is where I'm standing, and the engagement, be it Facebook, Twitter, Google Talk, whatever it is, she needs to be engaged. She needs to be kept abreast of what's going on, and it needs to be part of her funky life. Once she's got the products and the confidence that she's covered, we all want to maintain whatever advantage we have. So she needs the tools to evaluate and enhance what she has. She needs to keep in touch with the latest developments. National Treasury is going to tell us about some of the regulations that are coming up, but she needs to be kept involved and in the loop and going forward. So at the end of it, she comes out, and for the good of her and Tabang, for the good of the country, we have empowerment. Help me, help Mpo. I'm going to leave it there because the venue that we're sitting in, the history of it, this property was developed by Marino Chiavelli. It's not always about what you have or what you can have, because he developed this fantastic, magnificent 3.6-acre property in the middle of Hyde Park. He lost it because he didn't quite have a plan. So in whatever we do today, we want to clear all of the confusion, the noise, keep it simple, keep it clear, get an understanding, and really have a great morning of interaction and understanding and taking all of our minds forward. It's going to be a great pleasure with the great speakers that I have to take you through the day. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, from 10X, welcome to the Retirement Investment Conference. This is the second, possibly a third on the way, but it's an annual event. It's enjoyable, and it gives everybody a sense of community and pulse and sharing. So please enjoy your morning with me this morning. Welcome.